install the well, it's whatever you decide, guys. I'll go with the Windows Server. Okay, I'll say new. I'll say let's see the name what they propose to us, and the name would be this one. Well, it's this one. I don't understand why they put this one here. I'll put www instead. I will create the website here. So I'll call this one www. Yeah, that would be my CentOS 7, which will be on my DMZ. Uh, 2 gigabytes, fine. You could decrease it afterwards. I'll show it to you how. I'll say create. Don't forget you need CentOS 7 with graphical interface. 7, not 8, please. I'll show it to you very briefly how to do the guest edition there too. Um, well, we said we're gonna start with the Windows Server though. So let's install the domain controller. Well, it's called DC1. I'll call it DC only. We don't have another one, so anyway, I'll call it DC. It will be Windows Server 2016. Okay, 2 gigabytes fine with this one. Could go even a little bit further to 2.5 just in case. Say create. 50 gigabyte and VDI dynamically is perfect. Say create. I'll go to the settings to finish the settings. I go very fast because I record this and you know guys how to do it. Bidirectional is important to be allowed here on the advanced tab. System will remove the floppy the usual way. The processor, if I would need more, I could use more. Use tablets, fine. Be sure in the display you have the maximum here. The storage, I'm gonna choose my Windows Server, which is on my desktop now. Here's the desktop and here's the server. My network. Now, this network would be my LAN network, right? So my LAN network is on in my case, it is on my host-only adapter, number 2. That's where I have the network of 192.168.100 something. Okay, so I'm gonna choose this one. And the last thing, which is optional thing, but it's very important, because at certain point we're not gonna have any more, we're not gonna have initially maybe internet, we're not gonna have access to the, to our real computer kind of, because it's not allowed from the outside world normally in the LAN. That's why the shared folder is very important, so we to be able to share stuff from our real computer to the virtual one in the LAN interface and so on and so forth. So I'll click here other and I'll choose my desktop. You could choose whenever you want and as many as you want. It's important to have one on your real computer to be auto mount every time you reboot to after this to be remounted automatically, since you want to be able to access stuff from your real computer and vice versa, from your real computer to virtual computer too. So say OK on this, I'll confirm, I'll start the installation, which will be kind of, everybody knows how to do it. Okay, for now I will install it and I will put the domain on it as well, so, and the DNS server, right? So let's see how it will work. I will choose the default ones here. Next, let's say install. That's important moment, guys. If you choose something else, then the last one, it won't work well. So the last one has the most feature you need, as well as it's here the GUI. So I'll say next here. I'll accept the license terms. You know, the server is a Microsoft product, which is proprietary. Always choose the custom because you don't have anything which you need to upgrade to, and then you just wait. Now, just to remind you guys, when you see this, don't click. It will appear twice while you're installing any Windows server or client, Windows 10 or Windows Server. Don't click on this message because it will start the installation over again. So just wait until it starts doing something automatically. It will do it twice. Yeah, this is the second time, as you see. Don't do anything, just wait. Don't click any, don't press any key. guys, I'll create my password. You know my password, I always use the same one. And basically that's all. As I promised, it's a very fast installation. So say set control delete here, we put our super secret password here. And of course we need to do some initial settings, plus the guest installation, and then we're gonna join the domain and fix our DNS server. When you see a message like this, click on yes, no problem. And so what we need to do here now, guys, so the next thing we do is of course to do the settings. So I'm gonna go to the local server. I will change the name meanwhile as well. So I will come here. I would say I will stop my firewall. Now, it's only for our local environment. We don't do this in area of the world. We don't want to play with this firewall. We have already a firewall installed there. So that's the first thing we'll do. I could enable the remote desktop. I'll confirm this one. So, okay. Next thing would be now the IP address. I will change this later after the reboot. So say for the updates, I'm not going to touch it. I'll stop the antivirus. Once again, we don't do this in a real world. Then I will stop also the enhanced Internet Explorer's enhanced security configuration, so to be able to work properly with my Internet Explorer. Okay, I see it's activated, that means it has internet. Okay, and basically if I would like to see the changes which I just did, I'll click here on this small button, and eventually it will show me all the changes which I did, just to be sure I did everything properly. Okay, so this is solved, the other one is off. Okay, my time, don't forget the time. We need to get to the zone which we are, which in our case is this time zone, -5 Eastern Time in the United States and Canada. Okay. The other thing we need to do here, well, we do after the reboot. I'm gonna change the name. I'm gonna call it DC. I'm gonna call it. They propose DC01, but we don't have the 2 actually. That's why I'm gonna use DC. Feel free, guys, to follow the documents. Now it will say that I need to reboot, which I know very well, but I'm not gonna do it. I need to do something more. Say close, and I will say restart later. And the other thing which I need to do is to input my guest edition. Now, many people asking what's about the guest edition, how it looks like. Well, it's a CD which is already here. You see, this is our installation list for Windows, which is as a CD put it here. When I click on the top and I do devices, insert guest edition, you see now it will remove this one and it will put instead the guest edition itself, which comes pre-installed with this version of VirtualBox. So it will do it now. Let's do it again. Insert guest edition CD image. So here it is. It's appeared. If it doesn't start a specific pop-up which to show you something here, well, you could click twice on this one, and the last but one which says VBox Windows Edition AMD64, click twice, say next, install. When you're prompted to approve something, well, say install. And now, once it's installed, we could reboot. after the reboot, we will be able to access our. I'm not able now. If I go and check it, you see, uh, I don't see anymore the. I don't see yet the shared folder which I did with my real computer's desktop. As well as if I expand here the desktop, you see nothing happening. So once I reboot the machine, it will be done. I will inject the guest edition. I don't need it anymore. And I will say finish, as well as it will change the name of my computer, which I called DC now. Any questions? Pretty straightforward thing. You didn't make it. It's rebooted, as you see. I put my password. And of course, once I'm back, I will just check if everything is fine. I will stretch out this guy. It's supposed to stretch by itself, as well as I will check here if my, yeah, here it is, stretch it out now. Well, you do the guest edition always whenever you have, you know, a virtualization software, a virtual machine which has graphical interface. When it's without the graphical interface, there is no need this to be done. When you click here on this PC now, you're going to see your desktop. All the files you see on the desktop, actually they're here now, and I have access, copy and paste both directions, which is cool. As well as if I would like to access this machine now remotely, it's very easy. From my real computer I could do it because it's obviously it has an IP address from my host only network. So if I would like to check the thing, I'll do cmd, I'll do ipconfig. As you see, it's the first one we designated, 199. So if I open on my real computer the RDP, which is the remote desktop protocol for Microsoft, and if I put this IP address 192.168.199, sure enough, well, I need to choose here the name of the computer actually. So it's I don't know it, so I'm going to say more choices, use different account, and I'll say dot backslash. It will choose the name of the computer on which I am. Well, we don't need this name. It's DC, if you remember, it's DC. And then I'll put the IP address. Well, I need to put here administrator. And I'll say the password for administrator. And of course, from my real computer now, I will be able to access. You see, this one is log off because eventually I'm accessing it from my real computer. Now it's on my other desktop though. I need to restore it now. There it is. And I'm accessing it. Could do it a little bit bigger. Open it on the full screen indeed. So here it is. Okay, and if I check my here my IP address, I'm going to see where I am. ipconfig. I'm on the machine which I just showed it to you, and if that's not sure enough, host name, I see DC, there it is. Okay. If I would like to check on which domain at the moment I'm, or if I'm part of a joiner domain, if I do set user, it will give me valuable information for this. Well, as you see, the domain is actually the computer name itself, which means I'm not joined to the domain. I see which user is there. And very good command also is who am I. It will show it to you exactly how you logged in as a DC, as an administrator. Okay, so these are a couple of commands: ipconfig all as well. Hostname, set empty space user, and who am I. These are good commands you need to know on any Windows computer. You could see a lot of information right after this. Now I don't need this anymore, so we're just gonna shut down my remote session. But that's a demonstration how, because you're using a specific network interface on your VirtualBox, in our case the interface of host-only adapter, you are able to access from your real computer your virtual computer. And as you see, whatever I open there is virtually still there. Now let's join this to the domain. I'll say other roles and features. I'll skip the first page. Now something which is important though before. Remember guys, we need to do something on our network, right? If this guy will be domain controller, it will be also the DNS server, as Microsoft strongly recommends. This means if it will be a domain name server, couple of things supposed to happen. This guy is supposed to have a static IP address, and this guy also supposed to have DNS pointing to itself. So that's what I'm going to do now. Set properties. I'll remove the IP version 6. We said we're not going to use it. There it is. Now I could use the IP address of this computer itself. So I could say here, I could choose it like this. I could actually leave automatic settings, so what I have at the moment, that's what I'm going to do actually, but I could change the DNS. And the DNS will be 192. Let me check first what is the DNS at the moment though. You're going to see it's pointing to a local DNS here, so I could do ipconfig all. And it will show to me that at the moment as a DNS server, indeed is using the DNS of the my firewall. Okay, and if I check the Google by name, as you see, it's pinging by name without any problems, as well as additional checking for this my DNS lookup command. Again, Google. It will tell me which one is the default resolver or my DNS server. Once again, that's my OpenSense firewall, and it will find out if it's accessible by name. It will find out which name was the address record actually for was the IP address of an address record of this name. So that's confirms that I have internet, everything is fine. And what I'm gonna do now, I will say 127 here. It's supposed to point to itself. Since we're using a DHCP at the moment, which is not good practice when you use services, but for now we're gonna use it like that. Since we do use it, if I put here the IP address of the computer, no problem with this. But if tomorrow it changes it for any reason, I need to change the preferred DNS as well. So that's why I'm using the loopback address, which always is the same. Okay. Which always pointing to the computer itself and never changes. So I'm going to say OK. Now, something before, it's better to do it. I'm just going to disable for a while and enable back my interface, just to be sure all the settings which I changed will be changed here too. I'll do cmd and I'll ping Google again. And this time Google won't be accessible because this server is not yet domain controller. It's not DNS. So when we do it domain controller, and when we promote it to domain controller, and afterwards DNS is applied as well, it will be without any doubts. It will start resolving again the name. Here it is. As you see, pinging Google by IP address, it's working. So it's a clear indication that our DNS server is something's wrong with it, and we know what it is. So I'm done with this. I will now just refresh here. I will refresh here on the top. There is the refresh button. I'll click here and I'll wait a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna add the roles and features. Say next. Well, that's a good IP address for now. We're gonna change it after this. It's fine. We say next. And then next thing we'll do will be to choose here the second one, which is the Active Directory Domain Services. You know how to do this. Then we add the features which are needed. We'll say next, and we'll add really the features. This one doesn't do anything for us, so we click next here. We say restart if you need by itself and confirm. Then we'll say install, and as soon as we see on the second row the blue hypertext which will ask us to proceed with the installation by promoting this to a domain controller, of course we'll do it. And this is the moment we were waiting for, so we click now on the promote this server to a domain controller. Just simple double check to see if yeah, it is hostnet.local. Well, what they say, that's what we'll do. So we're going to say add a new forest, as you know, hostnet.local. everything is simple. It will create the domain, and we need to put the password for directory service install mode, which normally I'm choosing the same, which is not good practice, but for me it's fine. It's a lab environment. I cannot create DNS delegation, so I'll click next on this one. The NetBIOS name will be ChaosNet with capital letters. That's the oldest way of pre-domain work with, Microsoft, how they did it before. So I'll say next here. I could change the NetBIOS name as well. Further. Now the database for schema and all the other thing for the log files, it's a good practice to be changed because we're in lab environment. Again, we'll say next. We check if everything is fine here. If we want to automatize, we could copy the script and use it further. I'll say next. If the prerequisites are okay, a green mark will be on and the install button will be active. So I'm gonna check once it's done, and if that's the case, I just will install the thing. As you see, that's what I see. The yellow marks are not a problem. I'll say install, and now I will wait. It will reboot after this, and then I will start back on our newly created domain. Now, in a couple of seconds, it will reboot by itself. So now it's applying the settings. It will take a little bit more of time because now it's applying the schema, applying the other things which we just did. So we'll wait, and then we'll log in back with the credentials of the domain, and we're back. So what I will do now, as you see, I'm already on the domain, and use my password to log into the domain. I need to do some settings here. Now, this computer to look a little bit more nice. I would eventually change I will personalize my desktop, so just to look a little bit different for you guys. I use something like this. I'll change my power settings, so don't shut down the computer. As you see now, indeed I have internet with something we're gonna change. We're gonna check right away after this thing. You see 10 minutes. I don't want to shut down this computer. So do cmd, and indeed I will put the command prompt. I'll pin it here to the taskbar. Now these are small things which help. And if I do an lookup, Google.com. Now as you see, my DNS server is the local host, and I'm able to resolve. So that's the thing. Before we conclude with the installation of the Windows Server, indeed what you need to do is to go Tools, you need to go to DNS, and we need to create our reverse DNS record. Remember, that's important thing because by default it's not actually created there. So that's my reverse zone. I'll say new zone, say next. It's a primary zone. Next. Well, it's 192, 168, 100. That's indeed you need only this 3 octet, and as you see, it will create the reverse record for you at the bottom. So next, everything is next here actually, and finish. Zone is created, but we need to do something more. So when I go here, you see that's the IP address, and that's my A record actually of my DNS server, the computer which I am at the moment. So I'll say properties, and I need to update the associated PTR, or that's the reverse record. Say apply, okay. I'll come here, right click, and I'll do refresh. And of course, I'm going to see the reverse record here. So that's something which it's a good idea to be done before. So I'll pin this for any reason if I need it. I'll pin to the taskbar. I don't need it anymore. And just we'll check how the things are here actually. On my local server, if everything is fine as I already did it. Yeah, everything is domain is on, as you see. That's the name, that's the domain name. That's not a good thing, but we'll change it after this. If you remember, the DNS is not, it's statically assigned, the IP address is not. It's fine. For now, we're gonna leave it like this. And internet security configuration is off and stuff like that. Now, for now, if I would like to do something on my firewall, I could do it from here as well. But you know, we already have access through our real computer, so I'm gonna leave it for now like this. I'm not gonna do anything anymore. I'm just gonna minimize this, and I'll proceed with the installation of my website, which will be staying on the DMZ.